I'm here with my co-editor on the world's most powerful people list, David Ewald, and we're going to do a countdown of the 10 most powerful people in the world. And in 10th spot, David, is another David Cameron, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
David Cameron is in 10th place again. He's steady from last year. This is the man who leads the government of one of the world's few remaining great powers. And the United Kingdom still has one of the biggest economies in the world, one of the biggest armies, and they still exercise their power around the world.
And in 9th slot, we actually have somebody that's new this year. Not new to the list. He was very near the bottom of our list. But this guy's moved from the 60s up into 9th place, and he is
Xi Jinping, who has been on the list for several years because he's a high-ranking functionary in the Chinese Communist Party. This is the man who's going to lead 1.3 billion Chinese communists into the 21st century. Number 8, we've got another interesting choice, which is kind of a different kind of power. This is someone back in Europe.
That's right. It's the president of the ECB, the European Central Bank, and it's Mario Draghi, also known as Super Mario. It's been on the list for a while. It's the first time somebody that heads the ECB has been in the top 10. And the reason is, of course, that he is in charge of the euro. The eurozone is actually larger than the U.S. dollar zone in the world, but it's, of course, it's a currency that's under incredible stress. And if somebody's going to save the euro and perhaps even save the European Union, it's going to be Super Mario.
And then at number 7, we've got someone with a very traditional kind of power, an absolute monarch.
That's correct. One of the few remaining in the world is the King of Saudi Arabia, who not only presides over one of the countries with the largest proven oil and gas reserves, but also, very importantly for a lot of people in the world, the two holiest sites in Islam, Mecca and Medina. And he is an absolute monarch. You can't get more powerful than being the King of Saudi Arabia, unless, of course, you were in 6th place, which is Bernanke. The U.S. dollar is the reserve currency of the world, and Bernanke remains in charge of the Fed, and you know, they set monetary policy and for the world's largest economy. And in 5th place is, again, a very different sort of power, one of the few religious figures on our list.
Well, it's Pope Benedict. And the Pope is the spiritual leader of 1/6 of the world's population. There's a lot of Catholics on the planet. And the cool thing about the Pope is that his very job description gives him power and defines him as having this absolute power. I mean, there's the Catholic Church has the doctrine of papal supremacy, which says he has supreme, full, and immediate power over the souls of those 1.2 billion people. And the Catholic Church also has a lot of money. It's its own state. Vatican City, you know, is a country of its own. So the Pope is a really remarkably powerful person.
And in 4th place, again, it's just amazing when you go through these lists to see the different types of power. This is a guy who has a lot of financial power, but is also using his financial power to really try and affect change in the world.
Yeah, that's right. This is Bill Gates, of course. He's worth $65 billion, and that's after having given $28 billion away. And the way he uses that money is what makes him powerful. I mean, he's buying vaccines, he's saving lives around the world. He's also starting organizations which are raising lots of their own money. I mean, some of his vaccine organizations have raised billions of dollars on their own. And then he has power too because of the way that he can influence and push other powerful people. I mean, Bill Gates and the Giving Pledge, he's gotten a lot of billionaires around the world to commit to give away their fortunes to charity as well. So he's really not only saving lives on an individual level, but he's pushing a lot of really powerful people into this movement to do even more of that.
In 3rd place, the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, the once and future president of Russia, in fact. He, after spending a few years as prime minister, he flip-flopped with Dmitry Medvedev and is now the president and head of state of Russia again, and he probably could serve another 2 terms, which would make him one of Russia's longest reigning leaders since Ivan the Terrible. He is an absolutist at heart, and Russia has incredible natural resources, gas. They control the gas supply to much of Eastern Europe, and he rules with a fairly iron hand, as the members of Pussy Riot just found out.
Another European leader at number 2.
And number 2 is Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, and the European Union is really, it's a remarkable achievement of post-World War II human civilization. This is an area that had been fractured by long-standing hatreds and wars, and the philosophy behind it is it's incredible. The reality behind it is a little bit harder. If anybody, along with Super Mario, is going to actually see the Euro project through to its end, it's going to be Angela Merkel, who's the de facto leader of Europe. And in first place, David,
We go from the de facto leader of Europe to the de facto leader of the entire world. Barack Obama yet again comes in at first place. On one level, because he is the undisputed leader of the biggest, most powerful, most economically important country on the planet. Coming out of the election season, he's decisively won the electoral vote and the popular vote. He even picked up a few seats in the Senate and the House. So going into 2013 and all the way up to 2017, Obama's going to be able to push an increasingly ambitious agenda. And you're going to see a lot more projects like that. And a lot of the stuff that the Obama campaign and the Obama administration has been talking about for 4 years, they're going to really try to make happen. He's got a lot of power to do that.